All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis coach and your personal guide. So today's pod is definitely inspired by uh, the interesting weekend of both celebration as well as relaxation. And then I found myself kind of spinning out um, into a familiar space. Now, especially as a digital coach and healer, I'm sure you're familiar with this state of energy or prana, which is maybe initially it's just, sitting still, then it starts to kind of feel more like sitting idle, and then before you know it, depending on what your proclivities are, meaning whether you like to just scroll mindlessly on any of the social channels, or you find that you're not able um, to tap into any of these channels that kind of give you that dopamine hit, and little by little you just kind of pick something to just zone out, right? So maybe it's a familiar movie, or maybe it's just one of those OTT series that really mean nothing to you, but it's just a way for you to kind of um, get lost for a moment. Now, why am I sharing all of this with you? Because by the towards the end of the evening today, I started to recognize a familiar pattern, which is everything to do with prana, meaning everything to do with our energy, everything to do with energy and the mind, and of course, on the other end of the spectrum, mindfulness. So as you know, I do this daily pod, as the name suggests, every single day. And I've been doing it now for more than a year, literally every single day. And that's like a pact that I have made with myself. So I knew that sooner or later I would, get up from my sofa and get ready to, to record today's pod. But one part of me was kind of tapping into something that is a familiar pattern, right? And especially, for those of us who are into doing this kind of work on an ongoing basis, on a daily basis, the work of coaching and healing, it is a very, very rewarding um vocation, profession, something that we do it in our day. And also, it can be extremely draining and consuming. So, uh, there are moments where we try to dissociate, or break ourselves off um, from being so drawn in every single day, right? Now, of course, if none of this is making sense to you, I totally get it. Today's pod is one of those, which is just linked to more of my own thinking, more on linked to more of um, my own realizations. So uh, you know, I won't call it a guilty pleasure, but it's definitely an opportunity to just write in my digital diary. And of course, my digital diary is me, showing up and doing these videos live. And I know that somewhere in this, even if there's one little nugget, one little sparkle that helps you on your journey as a digital coach and healer, I know that this pod has served you well. And so back to the storyline, as I was just kind of reflecting, I realized that either I could, wait till literally the moment before I go to bed and record the pod, or, shift things. And that is exactly what I did. I made it a point to get up, even though it was past 9. Um, I went and did my push ups. For those of you who've been following along, I'm way past now day 60 of the 100 push-ups, 100 days. And I've even included now the kettlebell swing. So something that I had been, tracking for a very long time, wanting to do it, but I wasn't able to figure out, you know, a, a suitable teacher. So eventually, the YouTube and the internet came to the rescue. And so now I think I'm somewhere on day 9 or 10 of the daily kettlebell swings. And so even when I just went onto the mat and I started doing my push-ups, I knew that I had tapped into something, which is, uh, you know, if you are somebody, if you're like me, where you tend to think a lot, you tend to process a lot of the work that we're doing. Um, it's good to relax. So if you go back a couple of podcast episodes on the I Hypnosis Coach Speaks, you'll notice that it had a lot to do with work that was external, collaborations, meetings, connecting with people from different walks of life, people to to grow the movement. And then of course, as the weekend started to come, one is of course it was my wife's birthday, and so there was that moment of celebration. And then of course, usually Saturday is a 0 day, so I make it a point to just focus more uh, on R&R relaxation, and then get ready again for the rest of the week. And while that happened initially, I found myself kind of slipping into my old habits, which is just to um, you know to to go deeper into thought and sort of like dissociate from everything else. But again, like I said, today was different in that I realized that the way to to shake that off, the way to switch that is to manage my prana. And that's obviously the reason why what inspired today's title, right? So question to you is, as a digital coach, and of course if you've hung around all the way till here, then that this is really the message, right? As a digital coach and healer, how do you manage, how do you train your prana, your life force? And so, if you, like me, are prone to thinking, to overthinking, to just being lost in thought, the antidote or the way to get your to manage your prana is definitely, uh, there are many different ways. For some people, it is movement, and I've also started to recognize that for me as well. When I move, my prana shifts, right? The the quality of the energy shifts. So from being more heavy, it starts to get lighter, right? And so this is, of course, the lesson in this is, to ask yourself, like, how do you shift your prana? Sometimes, of course, for me personally, I found that coffee is again something that helps me shift my frame of thinking, and it helps me, sort of switch out from the philosophical and more into action mode. So as I start to wrap up today's pod, of course, this is just a reminder to you that every moment is literally a moment, and that's all that it is, right? So we're not defined by our moments, but sometimes when you find yourself getting caught up in the moment and feeling bad, or overthinking, remember, when you zoom out, it's an opportunity to notice that there's the next moment, and there's the next moment. And so you can change literally in an instant. So wishing you all the very best, of course, as a digital coach and healer on your journey to helping so many others that are out there, helping them connect with their true selves, their higher selves. And so, in this endeavor, of course, if there's any way in which I can help you, definitely reach out and let me know. And that is truly the reason why I one of the main reasons why I do this daily pod. So wishing you all the very best, and of course, as always, remember to live with purpose. And I look forward to seeing you in the next pod. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend is a wonderful week as well. And I will see you on the next pod. Take care.